You know, when we decide to redo our floors, we spend hours, sometimes days, agonizing over carpet colors, the textures, the patterns, the whole shebang. But honestly, the most absolutely crucial decision you're going to make is the one you will literally never see. Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving deep into the secret foundation of your floors and looking at why a tiny fraction of an inch could actually make or break your entire renovation budget. Let's get into it.
Okay, so here's our quick roadmap for today. We're going to cover the secret to great carpet, break down the actual costs, settle the great thickness versus density debate, explore your material options, and finally, look at some smart buying and installation tips.
All right, section 1, let's start with the secret to great carpet and why the stuff you can't see actually matters the most. Now, you might actually be sitting there wondering, does carpet even really need padding? I mean, is it just one of those unnecessary industry upsells? It's a totally fair question. If you're dropping good money on a nice, thick, plush carpet, shouldn't that just be enough to walk on by itself? Well, the brutal truth is, without padding, your carpet is going to deteriorate way, way faster. You've got to think of padding like a giant shock absorber for your floors. Every single time you take a step, the padding takes the hit, rather than the carpet fibers themselves. Without it, your beautiful, expensive new carpet is basically just grinding directly against a hard plywood or concrete subfloor. It's way less comfortable, it's a whole lot noisier, and, here's the real kicker, skipping it could completely void your manufacturer warranty on literally day one. No way around it. Moving right along to section 2, breaking down the costs. Let's talk about what you should actually expect for your budget. So what are we really talking about price-wise? On average, you can expect to shell out between 75 cents and $1.75 per square foot. And that covers both the padding materials and the installation labor. If we isolate just the materials, you're looking at anywhere from 25 cents to $3 a square foot, obviously depending on the quality you go with. Now, I know 75 cents sounds like pocket change, but trust me, it scales up incredibly fast. To put that into perspective, let's look at how those numbers actually scale. Say you're just tackling a standard 12 by 12 room. That might run you up to $250 just for the installed padding. But if you're doing a full 1,000 square foot house, that hidden layer could end up costing you up to $1,750. That is a very real chunk of change, which is exactly why we need to make sure you know exactly what you're buying. And that brings us perfectly to section 3, thickness versus density. We're going to look at a real-world dilemma from Reddit that perfectly captures the biggest myth in the flooring world. Picture this. A user goes to a design center, pays over $1,000 to upgrade their carpet padding to a plush, half-inch thick, 8-pound density pad. But when they drop by the construction site, they find a 7/16" pad installed instead. It was literally a 1/16 of an inch thinner than what they thought they paid for. Understandably, they felt totally cheated and rushed to the internet to ask if they should fight the builder, assuming they were trying to pull a fast one. So what's the deal here? Well, to figure this out, we need to understand the difference between thickness and density. Thickness dictates the plushiness and the height, basically how tall the pad is. And for most standard homes, half an inch is the absolute maximum you'd ever want to go. Density, on the flip side, measures firmness and weight support. It's calculated in pounds per cubic foot. Basically, density is the structural foundation that's actually doing the heavy lifting of supporting your carpet. Let's compare them. When you look at a standard 6-pound density pad versus an 8-pound density, the difference is honestly night and day. The 6-pound pad is definitely cheaper, and yeah, it has a softer feel, but it is a terrible idea for stairs or hallways. But look at the 8-pound density. It's firmer, it stops wrinkles from forming, and it is absolutely essential for high-traffic areas because it resists just getting totally crushed underfoot. So here is the huge reality check the Reddit community gave our worried homeowner. Thicker is absolutely not always better. In fact, actually, scratch that, a 7/16" pad very often helps your carpet last longer than a half-inch pad. Why? Well, if the padding is too thick, the backing of the carpet flexes way too much every single time you step on it. Over time, all that deep flexing breaks down the fibers and causes those nasty wrinkles you see in old carpets. Turns out the Reddit user actually got a fantastic pad that will probably outlive the one they originally asked for. The big takeaway? Density matters way more than thickness. Okay, with the whole thicker is better myth officially busted, let's jump into section 4 and explore the actual padding materials you can choose from. Let's look at the most common options. First up, we've got rebond foam. This is the one made from all those multicolored recycled foam pieces glued together. It's super affordable, it's eco-friendly, and it's honestly what you're going to find in most homes. But stacked up against it, we have frothed foam. This stuff is incredibly durable. It resists the impact from heavy furniture beautifully. Yes, it costs quite a bit more upfront, but it can literally outlast your carpet and survive through multiple carpet life cycles in those busy, high-traffic hallways. And then we have our specialty materials. On one hand, you've got the luxurious, walking on a cloud feel of memory foam. It's incredibly soft and super easy on the joints, which makes it absolutely perfect for a quiet primary bedroom or a toddler's playroom. Just keep it out of the hallway or it's going to compress flat. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum is flat rubber. This is the rugged, heavy-duty stuff. We're talking a 10 to 20-year lifespan, making it the go-to for commercial spaces, Berber carpets, or if you're laying it directly over a hard concrete basement floor. But hey, before you go falling in love with a specific material, you have to remember this absolutely critical takeaway from our sources. If you decide to go rogue and select a cheaper or thicker padding than your carpet manufacturer explicitly recommends, you are risking voiding your entire warranty. Manufacturers know exactly how much flex their specific carpets can handle. If you ignore their padding specs and your carpet starts wrinkling 2 years on the line, you are completely on your own. All right, let's wrap this all up with Section 5, Smart Buying and Installation. We know what to buy now, but should you tackle this yourself, or do you need to hire a pro? If you're a hardcore DIYer, the installation basically involves these 5 high-level steps. First, you've got to make sure your subfloor is perfectly clean and level. Then, you're nailing down tack strips all around the perimeter of the room. Next, you unroll the padding, always making sure the smooth side is facing up. Then, you meticulously tape and staple the seams so there is absolutely zero overlapping. And finally, you stretch it out and staple it down to the floor so it stays put. Sounds pretty simple, right? Well, that visual simplicity is super deceptive. A DIY padding job can turn into a total nightmare real quick. I mean, if you overlap a seam even a tiny bit, you're going to feel a permanent annoying lump under your carpet forever. If you don't stretch it perfectly, the pad bunches up, you might snap your baseboards trying to take them off. But worst of all, a pro knows exactly how to spot hidden subfloor rot or moisture issues. If you just DIY it and cover that up, it will eventually rot out both your brand new padding and your expensive carpet. Oh, and don't forget, a lot of brands actually require professional installation just to honor their warranty in the first place. So, if you decide to play it safe and bring in an installer, make sure you use these essential questions to vet them. Please don't just jump at the lowest bid. Make sure they are fully licensed and insured. Ask them right up front if they are actually capable of doing subfloor repairs if they find nasty surprises once the old floor is ripped up. Confirm that they know exactly which padding specs will keep your warranty intact. And this is a big one. Ask if moving your heavy furniture and hauling away that gross, heavy, old padding is included in their quote, or if you're going to get hit with a surprise fee for that later. So, what does this all mean for you? Before you start ripping up your floors or making a run to the hardware store, you absolutely have to check your specs. We've seen that density matters way more than thickness, that the wrong pad can literally destroy your floor from the inside out, and that your warranties are strictly tied to this hidden layer. So I'll leave you with this. Do you know the exact padding requirements needed to ensure your beautiful new carpet lasts a lifetime? Go check those manufacturer guidelines before you spend a single dime, because ultimately, the most important design choice in your entire home is the one you will literally never see.